Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with Paperboy Daily Trending News.
It's been a wild 24 hours.
Can you believe all this news?
It's crazy.
Feels like we're living in a movie or something.
Yeah,
So much
totally.
happening so fast.
Well, let's break it down then.
Okay, sounds good.
Where should we even start?
Well, how about that breaking news from the Senate?
Oh yeah, Kash Patel, huh?
Confirmed as the new FBI director.
Wow, what a development.
And it was close, 51 to 49.
Really shows you how divided things are right now.
Big time. Not just Democrats and Republicans either.
Right, even within the Republican Party itself.
Yeah, Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, those two moderate Republicans,
They broke ranks.
voted against Patel.
Joined all the Democrats in opposition.
It was a nail-biter for sure.
Definitely.
And things got pretty intense during Patel's confirmation hearing.
Oh, yeah.
He made this statement. I actually wrote it down. Hold on.
Oh,
Okay, here it is. To those who seek to harm Americans, consider this your warning. We will hunt you down in every corner of this planet.
whoa.
That sent chills down my spine.
Yeah, I can see why.
It makes you wonder about his approach,
The leadership, definitely.
and what it means to the FBI.
Right, Democrats have been pretty vocal about their concerns.
Yeah, they're worried about politically motivated investigations.
Especially given Patel's past rhetoric.
Right, his comments about the January 6th defendants and all that.
Exactly, it's a sensitive situation.
And this is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right, Trump's been busy.
Over 100 executive orders already.
Bam Bondi as Attorney General.
Trying to dismantle the Department of Education.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It's like every day there's something new.
And he's moving so fast.
Makes you wonder about the long-term consequences.
Absolutely.
Take the federal hiring freeze, for example.
A lot of people are worried about that.
Federal employees feeling anxious.
Even essential workers like firefighters.
It's unsettling for them and their families.
For sure their jobs are on the line.
And then on top of all that,
What now?
Mitch McConnell.
No way.
He's not seeking re-election.
You're cute.
40 years in the Senate.
Wow.
Stepping down.
What a legacy.
This is huge for the Republican Party.
What do you think it means for them going forward?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Definitely shakes things up.
Creates a power vacuum for sure.
Who will fill that void?
And can the Republicans stay united without him?
These are the big questions.
And then there's Trump himself.
Still making headlines.
Meeting world leaders, attending events like CPAC.
He's not shying away from the spotlight.
Definitely not. He's really using his position to push his agenda.
And not afraid to ruffle some feathers along the way.
That's for sure.
Speaking of ruffling feathers,
What's that?
Trump's comments about Zelensky.
Oh, yeah.
He's really escalating his attacks.
Calling him a dictator even.
Almost mirroring Putin's rhetoric.
Which is concerning.
On multiple levels.
It could really undermine international support for Ukraine.
And embolden Russia.
Plus, it raises questions about Trump's motivations.
Is he really putting America first, or is this more about personal grudges?
Tough to say.
It's a delicate situation.
Definitely one we'll be keeping an eye on.
For sure.
Oh, and there's one more international development I wanted to touch on.
Okay, what's that?
The Trump administration is canceling temporary protected status for Haitians.
Wow, that's a big one.
Immigration advocates are not happy about it.
They say it's inhumane to send Haitians back to a country that's still so unstable.
Recovering from natural disasters, dealing with political turmoil.
It's a complicated situation.
With strong opinions on both sides.
We'll have to see how it all plays out.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
From Washington to Ukraine to Haiti.
And we're just getting started.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in the big picture stuff.
Right, the political battles and all that.
But we gotta remember the human side of things.
Absolutely, these decisions affect real people's lives.
Like that story about Robert McCabe, the IRS employee?
Oh yeah, the one who got laid off because of the hiring freeze.
Yeah, and the thing is he actually voted for Trump.
Really?
He believed in Trump's business sense, thought he'd help the government.
And now he's been laid off?
He feels betrayed, disillusioned, like Trump came in with a wrecking ball.
Wow, that's a powerful image.
I think it speaks to how a lot of people are feeling right now.
Disappointed, maybe even betrayed?
Hoping for change, but not this kind of change.
Yeah, and it's not just here in the U.S. either.
Right. Think about the Haitians facing deportation.
Back to a country that's still struggling.
It raises some tough questions about our responsibility.
To those seeking a better life.
Exactly.
And then there's Ukraine.
The situation there is so complex.
And Trump's rhetoric isn't helping.
Echoing Putin's language, calling Zelensky a dictator.
It's like he's trying to isolate Ukraine on the world stage.
And potentially embolden Russia.
It's a dangerous game he's playing.
Agreed.
Speaking of dangerous.
What now?
What about those federal firefighters?
Oh, right, the hiring freeze is affecting them too.
It just seems ironic, you know.
Essential workers putting their lives on the line.
And now they're facing hardship because of political decisions.
The unintended consequences are often the most impactful.
For sure.
Okay, well, we've talked about a lot of heavy stuff.
Yeah, we have.
Any good news out there?
Come on, there's got to be some positive developments.
Well, there was that announcement about the National Garden of American Heroes.
Oh, yeah, I read about that. What is that exactly?
Trump's idea is to create a garden filled with statues of iconic American figures.
Interesting, like a monument to American history.
Exactly, both men and women who made significant contributions.
Sounds pretty cool, actually.
I'm curious to see who he chooses.
And what criteria he'll use.
It'll definitely be a project worth watching.
I agree.
And then there's Alice Johnson.
Oh, yeah, the woman Trump granted clemency.
She was serving a long sentence for a nonviolent drug offense.
And now she's been appointed as his pardon czar.
It seems like Trump might be softening his stance on criminal justice reform.
Maybe taking a more compassionate approach.
The positive step, for sure.
It's good to be reminded that even amidst all the chaos,
there are people working to make a difference.
Absolutely. And speaking of making a difference.
What's that?
We can't forget about Hurricane the White House Canine who passed away recently.
Oh, yeah, such a sad story.
He bravely protected the president back in 2014.
A true hero.
It's a reminder of the incredible bond between humans and animals.
And the sacrifices these dogs make to serve and protect us.
And even in the face of adversity,
right,
we see examples of resilience.
Like the Shen Yun performing arts trip.
Targeted by a bomb threat, but they didn't let fear stop them.
They kept performing, sharing their art with the world.
So inspiring.
It shows that art can be a powerful force for good.
For connection, for expression.
Even in the face of threats.
Absolutely. And then there's Carlos Alcaraz.
The tennis player.
He had that surprising loss in the Qatar Open.
Even the best athletes face setbacks.
It's how they bounce back that matters.
Exactly. It's all part of the journey.
So many ups and downs.
That's life, right?
It's how we navigate the challenges that defines us.
I think that's a good takeaway from all of this.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive.
From the personal to the political, the tragic to the inspiring.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions.
But it's important to stay engaged, to keep learning and growing.
So much news, so many different stories. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around it all.
It is a lot to process, isn't it? But I think there are some common threads running through it all if we step back for a second.
Okay, I like that. What kind of threads do you see?
Well, one big one is this whole debate about the role of government.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a hot topic right now.
We see it everywhere, like with Trump's push for school choice.
Right, empowering parents versus ensuring quality education for everyone.
It's a tough balance.
And then there's the decision on temporary protected status for Haitians.
Yeah, national security versus humanitarian aid, another tough call.
And even the concerns about Patel as FBI director.
That too, people worried about government overreach, politicization of important institutions.
It seems like there's a lot of distrust in government these days.
From all sides of the political spectrum.
And it's not just limited to government either.
Right, the bomb threat at the Kennedy Center, even though it was a false alarm.
It shows how heightened security concerns are these days.
And the potential for violence targeting certain groups.
It's scary to think about.
It is, and then there's the whole issue of political polarization.
Yeah, it feels like everything is so black and white these days.
Us versus them, no room for nuance or compromise.
It's hard to have a civil conversation about anything.
Without it turning into an argument.
Exactly.
We need to find ways to bridge these divides.
To talk to each other even when we disagree?
Absolutely.
Okay, so big picture. What are the key takeaways from all this news?
Well, first off, stay informed. Don't just rely on headlines. Dig deeper. Do your own research.
Don't just take things at face value.
Right. Think critically, form your own opinion.
Good advice.
And second, remember that politics affects real people.
It's not just some game in Washington.
These decisions with consequences for individuals, families, communities.
We can't forget that.
And finally, don't lose hope.
It's easy to get overwhelmed by all the negativity.
But there's good happening too. Acts of kindness, courage, resilience.
We got to focus on those bright spots.
Find ways to make a difference. Even small actions can have an impact.
I love that message.
It's important to stay hopeful.
Well said. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the day's news.
My pleasure. It's always great to unpack these stories with you.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in. Remember to like this podcast and subscribe to Paperboy Daily Trending News for more insightful deep dives on the day's top stories. We'll see you next time.